So this is going to be a quick how-to guide of prepping your pigeon conditioner. So I use pigeon conditioner in amongst other baits during the summer months and post-spawning, and it's this time of year now when the lakes are shut for spawning that I tend to prep some of it for the coming months and pop it in the freezer. So this is how I do it and why I do it. So first of all, what you need to do is take some of the dry mix, add it to a bucket. You don't want a lot in the bucket, you probably want maybe a third full of the pigeon mix, and then you want to add a load of either rainwater, lake water, or in my case I take some water from the pond and I fill that bucket 3/4 of the way up roughly. Once I've done that, I put the lid back on it and then I put it in the garage, generally for sort of 24-48 hours. I want that particle to really sort of take on that water. Once that's done, what I then do is I return that to the Burco boiler. I use a Burco, but some people prefer to use obviously a pan on top of the stove, and that's fine. What you want to do is add that particle to that Burco or your pan, and you'll notice, having rested that for sort of 24-48 hours, it's taken on a lot of that water, so you'll still need to add probably another half a bucket, 3/4 of a bucket of water to that before switching it on. So we do that, and then what we want to do is boil that for around about, I like to boil mine for about sort of 40 minutes, but 20-30 minutes is plenty enough. I prefer to give it that little bit of extra time because I want the actual particle to start to break down a little bit. I like mine to be a little bit on the sloppier side. This mix has got lots of different particles in it, including maize, and that does take a little bit longer. So once that's cooked up, you then want to return that to some buckets, and a really important point here is obviously that mix is really hot at this point, so just give it an hour to cool down a little bit so you're not going to burn yourself whilst transferring that to buckets. Once you've got it in the buckets, pop the lid on it and then put it to one side and let it cool completely down, down to it's just lukewarm. Once it's lukewarm, I then pop the lids back off again and I add some of the Baitworks sea stem. I love adding this to my particle mix because one, it's super attractive, and two, the starches and yeast within that seems to kick-start the fermentation process in the particle itself. What I do then is give it a little stir up, close the lids, and then I leave them for generally about sort of 36-48 hours, and you'll notice the top of the lid starts getting bulgy. When it starts getting bulgy, you know it's fermenting inside there. So at this point, you can either use it, put it into bags and freeze it, or freeze it in the bucket. Or what I like to do is add a load of salt at this point. What the salt does is it preserves the bait to some extent as well. It's also super attractive and brilliant to be added into particle at this time of year. And it also seems to knock back that fermentation, and it preserves the bait for a longer period of time whilst you're on the bank. So yeah, this is why and how I've done it. I hope you've learned something today, and there's going to be a little mini series on this, and I'm going to also be doing it with hemp seed and tiger nuts, so look out for them in the future. Cheers.